A couple years back, I did a video review for X-Men vs. Street Fighter on the SEGA Saturn, and I went on and on about how it was arcade perfect. So I figured, you know what? How about I actually show you guys the CPS-2 version of X-Men vs. Street Fighter? That is to say, the real arcade version of the game. This way you guys can all go back and check out the SEGA Saturn review and see how it actually compares in terms of frames of animation. You can also go ahead and compare it to the PlayStation 1 version or whichever other version you'd like, because this really is the arcade perfect version because it's the actual arcade itself. Outside of the obvious incredible visuals and amazing sound effects and voice acting, well, voice acting from that wicked 90s cartoon based on Jim Lee's X-Men, the fighter actually holds up really well today. It's easy to learn, yet tough to master. It's got simple but effective combat. It's just overall a really excellent arcade fighter. It was released in October 1996 in the United States and Canada, and it combines the characters from X-Men Children of the Atom and Street Fighter Alpha series together in one tag team brawler, along with SNK's Kizuna Encounter. This is the very first tag team fighter ever made. You get 8 characters from the X-Men series and 8 characters from the Street Fighter Alpha series, and both play pretty much exactly as you'd expect from those respective series, except now you have a whole bunch of moves you can pull off in unison together with your tag partner. One of the very big criticisms against the game has always been the fact that it is very button masher friendly. So if you're going up against someone who's never played the game before, just be on the defensive because odds are they're going to wipe the floor with you. Now, of course, pros will utterly destroy you, but that's a whole other story. The other criticism was the fact that the game can feel a little bit unbalanced depending on which team you select. But for me, I always thought that that was part of the game's charm. Not so much in the imbalanced nature of the game, but more so along figuring out which characters work well together. For example, I love using Ryu and Cyclops, for example, because both are projectile-based fighters, and when you team them up and do their unique special attack together, it really can just mop the floor with your competition. The only thing that really separates this game from, I guess, the rest of the pack that were released back in the day, not only is the fact that you can tag your partner character in and out at a whim, but it's also the fact that you stock your power gauge in order to do typical special moves, and that was nothing too new, but what was unique here was the fact that you could actually pull off special moves where both characters would jump in at the exact same time in order to unleash a devastating attack. And this again plays back into the strategy of figuring out which characters work well together, because sometimes you can actually have, say, a projectile character and then a rush character, and sometimes that will really work well, especially if your rush character is one that's going to do an aerial attack. As far as arcade games go, this CPS-2 cart is not too rare. You can usually pick it up for around $100, give or take, and also depending on the condition of the cartridge and the game itself. This particular cartridge set me back around $80, but was in really bad shape when I got it. It was probably in an arcade cabinet for a good 20 years or so, and so it was utterly filthy. When I cleaned it all up though, it just ran the first time, and right now it purrs like a kitten. About the only warning I can offer you guys if you're looking to pick up this arcade version is that you don't forget to change the battery inside the cartridge, because failure to do so will basically suicide your game. Yes, there are ways of phoenixing it, bringing it back from the dead, but that's a discussion for another time. X-Men vs. Street Fighter has been released on a wide assortment of consoles, and it is a fantastic fighting game that I highly recommend you check out, be it the arcade version you see here or any of the other versions you can get your hands on. It remains a fantastic tag team brawler, and it's one of my personal favorite arcade games of all time. So get out there, true believer, and go kick some ass.